Hello, we are here with Harry, an up-and-coming pop-punk artist from the south of England. My first question for you, Harry, is how do you pronounce your name? Is it Jxye?
Yeah, so it's just pronounced J. So the X is just, I've replaced the A with an X for some reason, because I think I'm cool. So it's just Harry Jxye. But yeah.
Why is that? Is it your second name?
It's not. So I initially started out doing covers and stuff on YouTube, and sort of was doing trap sort of music, and that was under Jxye. But now I've since gone down this sort of alternative route. I just thought to signify that change, it's gone to the X, and it's been part of the whole sort of rebrand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's much cooler than simply just J.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I've gone for it.
Have you ever had people mispronounce your name before?
Yeah, I've had a few radio presenters go, I think Jxye was one of them. The other ones have just spelt it out as well, or Jaxie or something like that as well. So yeah, a few times, but yeah, it's fine. It's gonna happen, isn't it?
Yeah, that was my original interpretation of it. I thought it was Jxye.
Yeah.
You told me before that you hope to perform support slots for bigger and more established upcoming artists. If you could name anyone, who would you want to work with?
In terms of up and coming, it would be, I'm not sure if people I would have heard of him. He is obviously up and coming. He's still pretty well known, but he's called Lou. It's your boy Lou is his username. So he's in the pop punk scene as well, fairly local to where I am. I think landing a support slot with him would sort of be a good bit of experience. Obviously there is massive artists as well I'd love to open for, but in particular this Lou artist would be a good one to get involved with. He's up and coming, pretty big on TikTok, etc. And I know he's gigging at the moment, so yeah, potentially with him.
Have you ever met Lou, or are they just an artist that you follow?
It's just someone that I follow. Yeah, I've never met him. It's just someone on Instagram and TikTok, and yeah, I like his music. Yeah, potentially one to get in contact with.
Yeah, working with other up-and-coming artists is a great way to get your name out there. How did you and your bandmates come together as a group? Did you all meet through school or a shared interest?
Yeah, so my bandmates, I've got obviously Harry on guitar. So he's basically, he was a schoolmate. So we met through school, where we basically grew up together doing music together. So I think when I was around 13, 14, I sort of went through my emo phase, which is apparently never ending. And that's how I met Harry. And he was originally in bands anyway, so just cover bands and essentially just cover bands and performing at Battle of Bands competitions and stuff like that. So I met Harry through that way. My drummer Luke is one of Harry's best mates, so I know Luke through him. In terms of Zach and Ross, I put out looking for specific band members, and they've come forward. So Zach, he's one of the other guitarists, and Ross, he plays bass. So I met them initially just through online, through Facebook and I think there's a website called Join My Band. So yeah, just through that really, and then we've just gone from there.
All right. So you say you met them, what was it, Zach and Ross online?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How was your initial meeting in face to face with them?
Yeah, it was cool. They're both really good artists as well, and there's always that initial first awkward stage in there when you meet someone, but no, it's just been growing, getting to know them as developing as musicians, and then we're all sort of coming together, and the chemistry's good between everyone, and yeah, it's all going pretty well.
It's great that you have good chemistry as a group. Can you share some stories behind the songs, and how have they connected with your audience?
Yeah, all my songs are, like you say, that they're based on personal experiences, and a lot of them resonate with people with depression and stuff like that. I've suffered with that before, so it's essentially music sort of relating to that, as well as breakups as well, which is a common theme in my music. And yeah, people just resonate with it and they relate to it because it's such a common thing, unfortunately. So I get messages probably weekly of people just messaging me saying the music sort of making their life a tiny bit better. Yeah, and just ask me questions like that, and I'll always have a chat with them. But yeah, no, getting good feedback in that regard, and it's just good to make it, even if it's a tiny bit of a difference. Pretty cool to see, really.
Yeah, it's great to see that. Not many people in your situation would even respond to people when they feel like that. When you write up your songs based on your personal experiences, do you approach them to show comfort or empowerment, or is it just write up things and work on it as it goes along?
So yeah, my songwriting process is more of like, they're often written when I'm hungover. So like, I've had like a heavy night out or something, and then the next day, well, alcohol just affects people in different ways, doesn't it? But I often get a bit down on it, and that's when I seem to be the most creative. And I write a lot of songs, and then some of them get thrown out, some of them I roll with. So I don't intentionally go out there making songs for people to relate to, if that makes sense. It's just that I share some of my experiences, share sort of what I've been through and some bits and pieces in life, and some people seem to relate to it, and that's sort of how it goes.
It seems like whatever you're doing is working. Keep drinking, I guess?
Keep drinking, yeah.
So your music has been featured on various radio stations and playlists. How does it feel to receive that kind of exposure?
Yeah, it's cool. It's obviously different radio stations, different playlists as well. They will have like a variety of listeners. Some of them are like really dedicated to that particular station or playlist, and potentially from different demographics. So it's good that some of my music is getting put on these various stations and playlists. It just allows opportunity for other people to listen to my music, and they might like it and they might not. And the ones who do can obviously find me on socials and stuff like that. So no, it's good for sort of expanding that audience and just basically trying to get more people to listen and see if they like the music, basically.
Yeah, well, we get emails ourselves about you asking who is this person, where can we find them, so we just send them links if we can. But,
oh really?
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, how long did it take you to get recognised online?
Yeah, it feels pretty cool. Like it's kind of cool, people reaching out, and like I mentioned, people say that some music's helping them, which is good. And then I got recognised actually the other day, which was
really?
quite funny. Yeah, which is quite weird, because obviously I'm not like massive or anything like that, still really up and coming. But yeah, I was out in on a training course of work, and on my lunch break I was in Morrison's, and these two like girls come up to me and I was like, "Are you Harry?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "Okay, fair enough." So that caught me off guard. I think I was buying a meal deal at the time.
It could be anywhere. It's Morrison's.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, your debut EP, King of the Unseen, is set to release soon. Yeah. Could you give us a glimpse into what we can expect from the EP?
So I found this new sort of genre that I'm going down the route of, which is obviously this pop punk style. So King of the Unseen is the first EP that I've ever done, and it's now that I've sort of found my sound, if that makes sense. Essentially, it's going to have a lot more songs similar to the ones that you've heard, and in some sense, same sort of genre. It'll just have more relatable sort of music on there as well. Yeah, loads of different songs there of pop punk and a bit of trap infused with it as well. And it's all essentially, all these sort of stories on there are based when I've sort of been feeling down. So it's not the most positive sort of songs, if that makes sense. But that's like a common theme with my music. That's essentially what's going to give. Then I've even got singles ready to go after that as well. So that'll be good to get out as well.
Are there any particular lyrics that stand out to you in your songs?
There's usually like a few from each of the songs, if that makes sense. So what I normally do with writing lyrics is I'll just be randomly going about my day, and then I'll have things pop into my head, and then I'll be noting it down on my notes on my phone. So my notes is filled with just random lyrics on there, and then obviously some of it I use, some of it I don't, and that's essentially how I go through it. Like there's in one of the songs, it's called One Night Stand, which you can probably all guess what that's about. Let's say in the second verse, sort of like a line about not growing up and that sort of thing, as in like still going out and not having a serious relationship, that kind of thing. And so like a line from there is like nights out to get, and then a swear word up, and it says like Peter Pan, we never growing up. So just like references like that. But yeah, that's one that would jump out on me.
Have you got any up and coming shows or festivals where fans can catch you?
Yeah, so we're still sort of in the process of booking up at the moment. So we're reaching out with our music and stuff like that to various promoters. So we've got some shows coming up in the Bournemouth, Dorset.
Yeah.
Got some coming up there in November. Got some in Southampton as well. So we're just sort of getting around those sort of areas first of all. and then looking to go from there, really. Bournemouth, Southampton sort of areas where you're going to be able to catch us for now.
I would love to catch one of your shows. What are your goals and aspirations as a pop punk artist, and where do you see yourself in the future?
Yeah, so long-term sort of goals would be just to be an established artist, like doing it full-time. That's sort of the goal and sort of the dream, really. But I think a longer-term, or could be arguably a shorter-term goal, would be opening up for, like I say, a more established artist, or even opening up for someone like Machine Gun Kelly. That sort of level, that would be like a really good long-term sort of goal, something to work towards.
Do you see your music evolving over time, or do you think you're going to stick with the same style of music that you've been playing?
I think, it's already evolving, although, you've probably seen I've only got about 3 songs released, but I've got a ton of others written. They're just basically in the process of, with my producer, getting them all sorted and ready to go. So it's, like I say, on the King of the Unseen EP, it's some a lot more upbeat than others. Yeah, some, they're all like pop punk mixed with trap. A lot of 808s and stuff in certain verses, the high energy guitars and that of pop punk, and it's just sort of infused together. And it's already evolving, because the singles after the EP slightly more light-hearted, if that makes sense. They're more upbeat. They seem to be quicker as well, as in like a faster pace. So it's already evolving, which is cool. It would just be good to see people's react and to see what people think of them, really.
One last question: where can people find you?
So I'm available on, my main place is Instagram, where I post a lot, but I'm basically I can be found at anywhere. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. In terms of music, it's on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon. Yeah, just any sort of streaming platform, really. You'll be able to find me on there. Just remember, it's JXYE, not JAYE.
It seems like you're all over the place.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on OSTM Radio today.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
And I hope to speak to you again soon.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be cool.